Hi guys, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. Today we are going to be drawing something called a Celtic knot. So this type of drawing is a little bit different from what we have done in previous drawings. This is a little bit more mathematical and logic-based drawing opposed to the more freestyle organic drawings that we've been doing in the past. So if you find that you struggle doing those more freestyle sort of drawings, this might be a little bit more up your alley. So the things that you guys are going to need today is you are going to need, well, a piece of paper. You're going to need a pencil of some sort, some type of eraser, and either a marker or a pen, something along those lines. Okay, pencil, eraser, marker, pen. So we can get rid of all those extra stuff because all we really need right now is just a pencil. So we're gonna start with our paper this way. We're not working up like this, we're turning it sideways. And what we're gonna do is we'll find kind of roughly the middle of the paper, and we're gonna go above that, and we are going to begin just by making some dots. So we're gonna make a total of 8 dots, just like this, going across the paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna, again, find that sort of middle of the paper and drop a little bit below it. And we are going to make 8 more dots below it. So 8 above, 8 below. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put 2 dots on each side of this. So you guys can just be following along, doing exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And we should have something that looks like this. Then all we're gonna do is we're gonna start connecting dots. So we're gonna start with these 2 dots right here, and we're gonna just connect those. And then we're gonna step to the next dots, and we're gonna connect those. And we're gonna keep doing that all the way across, connecting our dots, so that we have these diagonal lines. And you know, if they don't match up perfectly to the dots, that's okay, it's no big deal. Once we have that, we're gonna go find these 2 dots that were down here, and we're gonna connect those, and we're gonna do the same thing going back now the opposite way, so that we have something that looks like this. Now, if you want to use a roller to connect these dots, you'll probably get much nicer, neater, straighter lines. Like I have some kind of wonky lines here, and I can fix those. But I won't make you use a roller for this. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. So we have a bunch of these little crisscrossy lines. Yes? So we're going to hop back to these dots, and we're going to look at this line here. What we're going to do is we're going to continue this line straight up, and then we're gonna bring it back down so that we get a point. So what we're doing is we're looking at these 2 points, and we're just extending it up so that we get a little point there. We're gonna skip these 2 dots, then we're gonna go to these 2 dots, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna make a point here. We're gonna skip these 2 dots. We're gonna go to these 2 dots, get a point here. Skip these 2 dots, make a point here. So we have something like this. And we're gonna do the same thing underneath. We're gonna make a point down here, a point down here, a point down here, and a point down here. So we should have 4 points above and 4 points below. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a point on each end too. It's the same thing. So now we have what looks like 4 diamonds sort of interlocking. All right, once we have those diamonds all made, we're now gonna start to connect these points, and we're gonna do that using little half circles. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump from point to point to point, doing a little half circle as I do that so that it looks like this. So I'll do that so that I have 3 of those above, and I'll have 3 of these below. And then once I have those, I'm gonna do 3 more little half circles above, just like this, and 3 more little half circles below, just like this. So that's where I am so far. So now we're gonna do the 4 corners here. So I'm gonna have a little shape that sits in each corner here. So you can see there's 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here. So each of my shapes is gonna come up from those corners. However, I don't wanna do another rounded shape. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do something called a pointed arch. So what a pointed arch is if this is a point and this is an arch, we are combining those and making something that looks like this. So we're gonna have a pointed arch in each corner. So what it's gonna look like is we're gonna bring this up like this and then bring this back down like this. And we're gonna have that in each corner just like this. And then one more right here. And then what I need to do is I need to make 4 more pointed arches coming up inside each one of those that look just like this. So 4 big pointed arches, 4 little pointed arches. Okay, so there's the basic construction for my Celtic knot. But at this point in time, it doesn't really look like a knot. It just looks more like a bunch of crisscrossy lines. So we need to get this to look like a knot. So you can put down your pencil at this point, and you can pick up your pen or your marker or whatever it was that you were able to find, because we're gonna begin outlining some things. And you can grab your eraser. If you just have a pencil eraser, that's fine too. I have a little bigger one here. So here's what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna follow along here, but we're gonna start right at this point here. So if you can find this point and place your marker or pen or whatever at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna begin to outline things and we're gonna erase the stuff that's inside. So the first shape that I'm gonna make is I'm gonna take my marker or my pen and I'm gonna outline this. And if you don't have a marker or pen, you can also just use a pencil and you can just push really hard to get this outline. But I'm gonna go up like this. I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna bring this back right to where I started so that I have a shape that's 2 blocks and this little swoop. And then what I can do is I can take my eraser and I can erase the stuff that's inside of there. So I get something like that. I'm gonna make 2 more of these exact same shapes. So the shape begins, if you find this little swoop, this bottom part, and drop right below it. So I'm right below here. This is my starting point for my next one. And I'm going to bring this up, bring it back. And so I make exactly the same shape as what I just had here before. And then once again, I'm gonna erase everything inside. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna find this little curve and I'm gonna drop right below it. At this point, you can see here's my curve. I'm going right below it. And I'm just going to go right around here and do the same thing. Okay, so I just made 3 of the same shape. Again, I'll erase that. Now, I'm gonna make a shape very similar to this, but it's gonna be less of a swoop and more of like a candy cane shape. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm finding this curve, I'm starting right below it. And now I'm going up. I'm making a candy cane. And I'm bringing it back. So I have this shape. I'm gonna make another one of these candy canes. We're just gonna pivot it though, and it's gonna be interlocking with this candy cane shape we just made, but it's gonna be down here. So if you look at this, I'm now starting here, and I'm coming down like this. Oh, kind of lost my line there. That's okay. Going like this. and it'll be right back from where we started. So another candy cane, this one's just pivoted down and interlocking with that last candy cane I just made. So now let's just go ahead and flip this upside down, because now all we're gonna do is we're gonna do the exact same thing we did down here. So we made these swoops, we're now just flipping it upside down, and we're gonna make those same swoops again. So our first swoop here is gonna start right here. So interlocking with that candy cane that we just made, and it's gonna come up and back. Now pay attention here, because I don't want you to take this one too far down. So again, just like we did when we did the top, we find the curve here and we drop right below it, and this is our starting point. So we're starting here, we're not connecting it to the shapes down here. We have a little bit of a gap. So we're gonna bring this around, down, and back, so that we just have this shape floating here. It's not touching this bottom one. And we're gonna do the same thing again. Here's the curve. We start right here. Bring it up and down. Again, we have that little gap. Find your curve, drop below it. And now with this one, we have our candy cane shape. So again, make sure you stop that candy cane. You don't connect it to this bottom shape. And then it looks like that. And I can take my eraser and I can erase all these inside here. Okay, so I'm gonna make one more candy cane shape. You can see down here, it's pretty much all that's left in this corner. So I'm gonna take this marker. I'm going to outline this candy cane shape. And then I have this one in here. And then there's my candy cane. So at this point in time, we are almost finished with our Celtic knot. We have to make 6 more lines. So if you can see in the middle here, we have these gaps and we have a couple of blocks. Now we just need to outline them. So I'm gonna just make, there's gonna be 3 rectangles here. And to make those rectangles, we just have to make 6 lines. All of those lines are gonna be diagonal. All of those lines are going to travel from the upper left-hand section of the paper to the lower right hand. So here's what it's gonna look like. My first line is gonna come down right here. My second line is going to be right here. And then I can erase inside there. For my second rectangle, my first line's gonna come down here. Second line's gonna be there. And for my last rectangle, first line is there, and my second line is right there. And once I do that, my Celtic knot is complete. And so we did this very logic-based, very kind of mathematical drawing just by making points and connecting the dots and drawing lines and erasing things. So this is a great way to draw if you are a little bit more mathematical based. Maybe your brain doesn't really work in the whole kind of freestyle drawing sort of way, and you like to have much more logic-based roles to follow. So if that's the case, this is a great sort of drawing for you. Once you're done with this, you can color it, you can do all kinds of things, but it just makes a really nice, neat pattern. And we did it just by drawing some dots and connecting them and making some lines and erasing some lines. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had fun doing this, and I will see you next time.